The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 921. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. You can now purchase Bridging the Confidence Gap, How Empowered Women Change the World on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Indigo, and other book retailers sold worldwide. Get your copy today. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal woman on the show. I've met her a couple times in the Philippines. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met, so I'm really excited to have her on and share her story. She's an entrepreneur, she's a speaker, she's an upcoming author. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Kate Hancock. Kate, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Yes, well, Sheena, thank you. It's so honored for you to invite me. And definitely we've had fun dinner at the house and right. Super excited to be here. I'm Filipina, grew up in Camiguin Island, south of Manila, really not much, and moved out to the United States right after college. And I did my side hustle, and boom, I landed figuring out selling e-commerce from $20, and I scale it to an 8-figure business and dabble into other categories. And so, yeah, honored for you to invite me.
Okay, I just heard you started a e-commerce business with $20 and scaled it to an 8-figure business. Like, that is awesome. You're just like nonchalantly, yeah, I just did this. And I think as women, we just talk about it and not realize what a big deal that is. So I just kind of wanted to point that out because that is awesome. And I mean, I'm sure once, the listeners hear that, they're probably going to be messaging you like, how did you do that? What did you do? I want to learn more. So thanks for sharing that. And Kate, what's your favorite self-confidence quote?
I think you just do it. Just don't wait for someone to push you. I mean, all you have to do is to start and just do it.
I love that because I've been in this, just taking action stage. And yes, I still kind of resist a little bit, but in my latest book, I talk about the strategy of ready, fire, aim. So you start before you're ready, you take action, and you pivot as you go. And that's how we get results, right? We're going to make mistakes, we're going to pivot, we're going to figure out what works, what doesn't work. Because if we keep doing ready, aim, fire, we just keep aiming, especially as women, especially Asian women, we want everything to be perfect. And of course, that doesn't exist. So I love that you just mentioned just do it. So I love that quote. And in your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
I think self-confidence is really a belief in yourself. And once you have that in your brain, I think it just takes one experience that you feel good about yourself, like, okay, I've done this, and people, compliment you for one thing, and then that's how you build it. And then, once you figure one thing's right, and then it just go, at least in my experience, I know I've proven one thing, okay, I can replicate and do the others. And so, I mean, I think that's a big deal. Or sometimes it could be a person or a boss that kind of give you that self-confidence, like, I believe in you, you can do this. And then you're able to prove yourself. And then I think for me, that's what happened.
Yeah, I love that definition. I know a lot of people, we hear believe in yourself, and it becomes a cliche, but it really does start with that. Like, without that belief on yourself, you're not going to go out there and make mistakes, fumble along the way. And so it does take a lot of work on our mindset to really see that we're capable, right? It's the reason why I also wrote the book because as women, there's a disconnect with how capable we are versus the belief of how capable we are. So if we don't believe in our capabilities, we're not going to go out there and do it. But when we do, we become invincible. So thanks for sharing that great definition. And Kate, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
Well, I think I was very shy growing up. I didn't think when I was in high school, I was not attractive at all, and I was overweight. So I didn't have that at all. I know I'm gutsy and I'm always hungry of doing something like building a community or putting together an event. Like, I love doing that. And for some, sometimes you kind of measure your confidence with attractiveness, but that's not true at all, right? Maybe you're a late bloomer, and then you become, when you feel you feel beautiful, and then it kind of like blends in. But I think the internal thing of like that hungerness and grit and wanting to do more, I think it just shows within, and you don't have to be attractive to get that.
First of all, you're beautiful inside and out. And I know it's not always easy, the beauty, especially beauty standards in the Philippines, right? If you have morena skin, if you're dark skin, you're not considered beautiful. I mean, whitening creams are like a big thing in the Philippines. They're everywhere on billboards. It's a multi-billion dollar industry, and we have to remind people that everyone is beautiful in their own skin. And, what was that moment in your life when you realized you were more than capable to go out there? Especially, you do a lot of stuff. Like I see you in social media, like you're putting out TEDx events, you're doing AI, you have like, resorts in the Philippines, like you have a lot of stuff going on. But what was that aha moment that made you realize you can go out there and just do it, right? Even from like having that $20 e-commerce business and then scaling to eight figures, what was that aha moment for you?
Yeah, I think I used to work for a skincare company, a very small company in Irvine, and I was a sales rep. And for within 6 months, I got promoted to a regional manager with no experience, and then pretty much number three in the company. And I know it's a small business, so it was a big deal for me. Like, wow, how did I move out there very fast? And I helped them scale their business, and I was like, wait a minute, I made them so much money, why can I not do it myself? And I think that was really the epiphany for me. Like I was able to figure things out with no SOP, no training. I was able to build a team and train them how to do the same. That's when I started my business. But I have to say, one boss, his name is Monroe. He gave me that confidence. Like, wow, I've done this for a long time. I've been in a corporate world for so long. You are just a natural leader. And so that was like, oh my God, that was such a compliment. I didn't even know I have that. So it just takes one person to compliment me, at least from my experience. And that was my aha moment. Like, wow, if someone believe in me, so I guess I can make it happen.
I love that. And it's so true, right? You like you said, oh wow, I made a lot of money for this company. Like if I put in the amount of effort on myself, like just imagine what I can create, what I can choose, right? And of course it shows because you have all these different things that you're doing. And yeah, having one person have that innate belief in you means the world, right? Especially because we go through a lot of blind spots and they're blind spots for a reason. We can't see it. So it takes, a second or third pair of eyes to see what you bring to the table. And when you see that, you're just like, you go for it, right? And because of that, what's your life been like now?
I think I'm overly confident in a lot of things. Is that a thing? But I think like I was able to figure things out that I can replicate building businesses in different industries, that no matter what I put my heart and soul into, I can figure things out. It's just a matter for me. Do I have the time, or am I excited at doing it? So I can do things, right? Like whether I dabble, I started with e-commerce, like I shared earlier. I was actually buying clearance items on Amazon, pallets and pallets of items, and starting with at $20 at that time. That was 2012. You don't need to have inventory to sell the item. So when a customer buy, and then that's when I would buy the product. But I had so much fun. It's harder to do that now, but the first 6 months I sold $500,000, and a year 1 million, and then over the next few years I sold $20 million. So starting a business with no capital, that really boosts my confidence. And okay, I can double e-commerce. Then I started doing real estate, and now I'm running nonprofit. I invest here and there, advice in different tech companies. So I think for me, it's just once you figure things out, it's easy to replicate it. Now, sometimes maybe a lot comes with it, but I think once you have the same blueprint, you can do it all over again.
I love that. I love that, we can figure things out. I think especially as women, it's so important to recognize that even if you don't know what you're doing, you can figure it out, right? Like you can go out there, make mistakes, fumble, because that's what men do. They just do it. They go out there, they just figure it out, whatever result they have, they're happy with, and they keep moving forward. But I understand because they've been taught to be confident, while women, it's the opposite. Girls start having confidence issues as young as 6 years old, unfortunately. But I love it because you figured it out. You had a blueprint and you take that blueprint and use it for other industries and be able to do it. And of course, I love that you mentioned if it doesn't align with you, you're not going to do it. I think that's also important because you can make money on a lot of things, right? But if it's not within integrity, then it's not going to feel good. So I love that. And Kate, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she's in her own journey to self-confidence. What'd be that one tip you would give her?
I think I really start with self-healing. I think once you kind of figure that out of I think for me what set us up what kind of holding us back is that voices in our head. I mean, you could just imagine growing up and having a tiger mom. I mean, my God, I grew up with my mother would say, why do you have to be the person to be a leader to create something? Like that is a confidence shutter right there, right? I definitely have a mother that's not supportive of anything. I don't know why. I don't think she means it that way. I think she just get annoyed that I would borrow her Tupperware to put together an event for my friends or high school friends, and she would get annoyed by that. But like if that would be me, I would be like, go ahead, do that. But definitely my mom is a dream crusher. So maybe it's a good thing that because if someone tells you don't do it, then you're gonna do it anyway, right? So maybe that helps me in a weird way.
Yeah, I think also too, like Asian parents, they've been taught the same thing for so many generations to that it's just like clockwork, right? They're not even aware because maybe, this is just a guess, maybe someone from her family said the same thing. Could be an aunt, uncle, it could be your grandmother, and it just passes on because that's all they know, and we can't fault them for that. But because we're more aware of that we can do something different, we're going to go ahead and do it and break that cycle. So I'm glad you're able to realize your worth and what you've achieved because look where you are today. And so thanks for that. And yes, self-healing is so important. Like trauma plays a huge role. And so if we're not aware of it, we can't find ways to fix it. So I'm glad you're able to share that. And if our listeners want to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, I know you have an upcoming book. Where can they connect with you?
Yes, I'm very super active on LinkedIn, or you can go to my website, khancock.com. We have our book coming up. It's titled Unlimited Possibilities, and I'm co-authoring with my husband, which he's overly confident. Sometimes I wish I have his confidence. Sometimes he would say, like, I'm gonna apply this job, right? Like really high up job. And I would be the one that would say, are you qualified to do that? Like, I wish I had that confidence. I love how men would just easy, like, they don't have to check the box. But for us women, 9 out of 10 in our head, we're still not qualified. So we wanted to have this man just sprinkle all the confidence in the world. I love that. I love that about them for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I say that all the time, like men just do it. I know we still overthink. I'm still guilty of that, and so I have to catch myself and say, "No, just do it. Whatever you get, don't worry about it. Whatever result you get, don't worry." And yes, and your husband's very, Dan is very outgoing, just reaches out to people. That's how we met. It was because of Dan. He reached out to me, and then we're like, "Yeah, we're both in Manila. Let's all go have lunch." And look where we are today. So, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you wanted to connect with Kate, you can also head on over to the Tao of Self-Confidence and search for Kate's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else. And I just really want to thank Kate today for taking the time to share her story and wisdom with us. So thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you so much. This is amazing.
No, it's such an honor to have you on. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify to get your daily boost of confidence.